Well, speaking of passion and everything, Todd, we did want to throw out a congratulations to you and your new lovely wife, Deborah. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. It's a real gift, so thanks for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, because I know family is so important to you. I mean, you have two sons that you absolutely adore. You're so proud of, absolutely proud of. We always hear about how much you're involved with your family and how important they are, and you share that with all of us to make sure that we set our priorities in the right place. So I have an interesting question for you, Todd, that if one of your sons decided to follow you in your footsteps and get into the mortgage industry, don't go with your first thought. Get into the mortgage industry. What advice would you give them to help them succeed?
Well, first of all, my first thought was get into it. It wasn't no, stay away from it. But about a week or so before Cheryl slipped into a coma, she and I had a talk with the boys, and one thing she said was how proud she was of them, and that whatever they did in their life, she wanted them to be passionate about it. And we went through a very tough period of time when the boys lost their mom to cancer, and at the end of the day, we have that conversation all the time because they're 15 and 14. They're thinking about what they want to do, and the one piece of advice that I would give anybody and everybody would be, do what you love and the money will follow. So assuming they love the idea of working with people, assuming they love the idea of making home buyers' dreams come true, and assuming the idea they see, which they both do, the entrepreneurial opportunity, I would tell them that the number one thing I would advise them on is to get as good as they can, as quickly as they can, and to reject the normalcy of business. And by that I mean, I'll give your listeners just one idea. In Time Traps, which hit the New York Times bestseller list 6 weeks after I released it, I talk about some pretty radical ideas in the area of time management. And one of the jokes I make is, there's nothing wrong with 24/7. As long as it's 24 hours a week and 7 months a year. And everybody laughs at that, but it's the kind of life that people would kill for, right? And so I tell people, why spend 30 years of your life working when if you got really good really fast, you could do in 10 years what most people take 30 to achieve? I would tell both my boys to be retired by 30. I would tell them to be so good by the age of 21 that they could do, 4,000 or 5,000 home loans in 10 years and be done. And I would coach them to that, and I would coach them to that opportunity. And one thing about anybody thinking about going into a business, particularly in the context of this being my sons, is they have an attitude of what's possible, not what's not possible.
I love that.
And too often salespeople become jaded with what's not possible, and they're bound by these restrictive beliefs, and they can't even make a sales call because they've already played out the end of the call as being a failure. So I would tell them, make failure your stepping stone, get as good as you can, as fast as you can, and I would be vigilant about making money every single hour and not fiddling away with what you guys talked about, like email and stuff like that at the very front end. So that's my advice.
And hopefully you're listening to that advice from Todd Duncan, national best-selling author, mentor, trainer for tens of thousands of professionals, and he trains with the best professionals. So these are incredible pros. I mean, Todd, you helped me remove my barriers because when I first came to you, I did the same old for literally 10, 13 years, and I thought I was doing okay until you removed my barriers. And literally within 2 years, I quadrupled my business and became one of the top in the industry, thanks to you helping guide me in the right direction by doing business on purpose, not by accident. And I really appreciate that, buddy.
Oh, awesome. Greatest joy in my life is watching guys like you implement and knowing that you can get the results. So hats off to you.
Thanks, Todd. I mean, in Todd's whole life is helping others. I mean, I know, Todd, you completely dedicate helping others, and some of the tips you were giving are the same ones that Jessica Fisher, who's in the studio with us today from Top Agent Magazine, gave about living life on purpose, doing things differently than others, excelling at it, and just not following the herd.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I saw is we talked about communication is key. Doing what you say you're going to do is key. Having discipline is key. I mean, as we said in the beginning of the show, these are some basic traits. This is not a silver bullet. This is not a program you're going to buy on TV at night necessarily, but it's just do the right thing repeatedly, have a good series of habits, and you'll be successful.
Good stuff. So we only got 2 minutes left, so Can you give us real quick, in about a minute or less, it's going to be tough, but just some, let's say 1 or 2 or 3 traits that you see successful people have consistently?
Yeah, number 1 is they have a vision. They're really clear on where they want to go. Number 2, they have a plan that supports that vision. They know how to get there. Number 3, they embrace discipline. Their 3 favorite words are discipline equals freedom. And they understand that the more disciplined they are, the freer they will get, the sooner they will be able to have choices and options in life. They have gotten very good at skills. They realize the better I am at a skill, the more money I'll get paid, and the faster I can execute the skill. And then they are fans of consistency and the compound effect of those daily decisions. Those are 5.
Wow. I'm going to make sure everybody I know gets those 5 disciplines and those tips. Todd,
just replay that for us every morning.
We're going to have to. I'm going to have to try to steal away more of your time in the future because I know I am always taking notes, and I'm going to replay this. And hopefully you're out there listening to some great tips from Todd Duncan, the Todd Duncan Group. How can they get a hold of you and your books, Todd?
Well, they can go to theduncangroup.com, which is our corporate website. They can go to salesmasterymobile.com, which is our annual event that you guys come to, and we'll have about 3,000 agents.
It's an incredible event, obviously.
Yeah, loan officers
my life
this year. So salesmasterymobile.com and theduncangroup.com.
All right, thanks, Todd, and let's keep in touch, buddy, and thank you so much for your time and giving pearls of wisdom to our listeners, and we'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye, Don. Gino, take care. And Jessica, good to hear your voice, and congratulations on your success.
Thank you. It's great to hear you as well. I can't wait to read all your books.
They're great. Thanks, Todd.